Thank you, everyone. So for all of you who don't know who Konodrac is, we've been here about 2 years ago, basically presenting what Thomas has done today about the first large panel audience data in the world, which we launched 3 years ago in Spain, and now officially launched after 3 years of proof of concept with 18 million devices and about 13 million households, which is the largest in the world audience panel, now being done by Kantar in the Fusion project. So they're doing very similar to Austria. Instead of 1,500, they have about 3,000 people meter, and then combining that with 18 million TV sets. So we're not talking about that today. We're talking about how broadcast is similar to ProSieben. In this case, Atres Media, who's with me on stage today, Jorge from Atres Media in Spain, how they are using the accessibility of data to drive more revenue for linear TV on terrestrial. So we're not talking about set-top box possibilities where we're all spoiled in UK with Sky and the possibility to address those households. We're talking about standard linear TV, terrestrial, where in Spain they're doing addressable TV. And that's the innovation. And we're going to share some examples. For those who have been here yesterday and listening to Thomas, I don't want to dive more into where we are coming from, but it's always a good reminder to know where in the year 2000 we've been with 35% in ad spend on TV, which was at that time all linear, by the way, and 3% for digital. And now we are at 70% in ad spend for digital and roughly about 24% worldwide for television. So there is a shift that has happened in those 25 years, and the shift is quite dramatic. And we always need to ask ourselves the question, where is the money going and why is the money there going? And it's not about an agency making a super great plan. It's about the consumer has moved, and it took 25 years for the agencies to move the money from television to digital with, as we know, 5 or 6 companies. And what we're showing today is, I strongly believe, a good way to get money back from digital, meaning from Facebook and Meta and YouTube, back into linear TV. Because of one single reason. It becomes targetable, addressable, and we understand about data. So the importance is really about where is the consumer, what does the advertiser want to achieve from his campaign, and how can the media agency spend more money on linear TV without spending more time on it. Because if there's any media agency in the room, don't take me wrong, I know you work a lot, but ideally you spend the same time and be more efficient in spending the same amount of money on linear TV. The question is, those 3C framework, which we all know as marketeers, I have put together samples how with HbbTV in linear advertising, you can accomplish all 3 Cs. So those samples are, for example, in the Connect area, that we can differentiate between seen and not seen on live TV. So what Thomas talked about in Austria, we can do with HbbTV in general. And the question is how we then apply that to a campaign. And in Spain, Jorge will show you how they're doing that, because for the first time, we know if an ad or a household has actually been delivered a campaign, where normally we think the campaign has been delivered, but we know now that from 10 million households, only 6 million have seen that. Now what we do with the remaining 4 million households who haven't seen it, the moment that TV goes on, we can deliver the same ad in the next ad break. So we can prove and go back next day to the advertiser or to the agency and actually show them what has been delivered. So this possibility of seen or not seen is for linear TV really, really, really interesting. Now, Sky, they're doing that since 10 years. For them, it's nothing new. But for the majority of us who maybe work in a non-set-top box world, this is really, really a great achievement because it allows us to go back to the agencies and show them things that they only know from digital advertising. Now they know that also from linear TV. We can do targeted campaigns. So in Spain, we're doing since roughly about 4 years targeted TV campaigns. Now, you might laugh in the UK because you're going to see these L banners, which, for the UK advertising market, it's impossible to imagine that we have L banners on a TV campaign. But yes, there are markets where in Austria, in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Spain, they do L banners, and they work fantastically well. Simply for one reason. It stays not only for 10 seconds, but it stays for 30, 50, 60, 80 seconds up on screen and has a massive impact on the viewership. Massive impact. Now, the conversion is happening with campaigns in regards to QR codes to scan, numbers to call. We had a fantastic session yesterday about shopping here from Omdia. That is happening with a complete ecosystem which is closed, because once you scan the QR code, you are not on your remote control, you're on your mobile phone, and that ecosystem is closed, and you can now engage with the advertiser. You have the click to win, the receive coupons, and again, you have targeted campaigns, and sorry to always use Sky as a good example, obviously we're not as spoiled as with Sky or in other closed loops where we have so much demographic usership data because we don't know who is the subscriber, we don't know exactly where he lives. We have possibilities which are limited in regards to targeting, but we have now the possibilities to use first-party data from advertisers or from agencies and integrate that into our campaign. And that is pretty powerful. The continuous engagement model now has opportunities similar to, again, the traditional digital advertising, but we're using AI-powered enriched campaigns. So we do not only geo-targeting, but we do really personalized campaigns. We do cross-device targeting, so we have the whole household data and combine it with the mobile phones, which have the same IPs. We overlay them. And then, as I said beforehand, we now do first-party data integration. Those are just two examples from Pluto, for example, for downloading campaigns or the quiz participation. And I think I pass on to Jorge, who will show you some samples from Spain, what they're doing on the addressability.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jorge Caba. I'm working in Atres Media. I'm a project manager. I've been working in HbbTV for only 2 years. It's such an experience. And first of all, I would like to give us an introduction about what is Atres Media, some figures about the different products that we have. We are leaders in linear TV with 6 different channels, but we are also leaders in connected TV with 3 different products. We have 9 million available devices that are compatible with HbbTV. This implies 23 million individuals. It's 68% of the total audience in Spain. We have also Atres Player or OTT platform. This is available in 95% of the devices that are in the market. And we have 1.5 million users. Near half of them are paying users. And we have also Loves TV. Loves TV is a joint venture with the main broadcasters in Spain, Atres Media, Mediaset, Televisión Española. And we provide services, video on demand and catch-up services. We have 6.7 million users in this platform. And how is the market share? 75% of the viewership in Spain is coming from broadcasters. This includes linear TV and broadcaster video on demand. And the other 25% is coming for the pure OTT players, Netflix, YouTube, etc. But this an important figure here is 96% of the users that are users of OTT are also users of linear TV. So linear TV is very relevant in Spain. Regarding the advertising, we are using most of the formats that Moritz has told us before. We have display. Display formats is very important in Spain. You're right. It's working very fine, very well. We have lots of different L banner possibilities. And we are using also video formats, 2 types of video format. The first one is ad replacement. This enables the possibility of swap a linear spot with a digital spot in real time. And we also have a switching spot. Switching spot is a similar experience to a pre-roll in an OTT. When a user tunes his TV, a video ad is going to be shown immediately. And what's next, maybe it's not a surprise because Moritz has told you, but we are also working in the data usage. It's not only important the kind of formats that we provide to the advertisers, it's also important the data that the users are generated. This data is generated in real time. And with this data generated in real time, you can make real-time decisions. So that's what we are offering now to the advertisers, the possibility that serving to a specific user a campaign that we know that it has not been shown in linear TV. So when the user joins the channel, if we know that the user was not present during the linear break, this spot is going to be shown. So imagine the possibilities that we will have. This kind of product has the best of 2 worlds, linear TV, the audience is huge, and also the precision and the flexibility of HbbTV, because you can serve the spot to the proper person at the right time. And this is brand new. It's not officially in the market. This is going to be presented a couple of weeks, maybe by the end of March. This is a new possibility that we will offer to our advertisers. And we have an example. We have a video.
Yeah. So basically, for those where the spot was a little bit too fast, you watched the program, and after you switched in, so the viewers just switched in, instead of continuing to watch the program, you're being served an ad that you should have seen if you had watched a minute beforehand or 2 minutes beforehand. So you're missing out 15 seconds of the live program. You're missing out 15 seconds of a live program, and you're being shown an ad. That is for many markets. I look at Jeff in front of me like crazy. But again, the Spanish law defines that as, because it's the digital advertising, it falls outside of the 12 minutes or 10 minutes break per hour that a broadcaster can deliver to the audience, okay? So now this digital ad is being categorized as digital advertising because it's addressable, yeah? So again, I'm sharing these things with you because we need to understand what is happening in the ecosystem, what is happening actually in linear TV, that we have a mixture of linear rules and digital implementations. So, sorry.
So is that how you're going to get 15% more?
It's a start.
Well, I think this is just an example of something that is now being introduced completely brand new.
Right.
The 15% is an average that we've seen around the world, not only in Spain. We see it in America, we see it in the UK, we see it in markets which are very advanced in this, because the difference between addressable advertising and linear advertising is the CPM that you can charge.
Right.
So whether you're charging €4 or £4 a CPM up to 10, or you're charging 80 to 150, that's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you're going to be charging on that particular ad a digital CPM because it's qualified.
No, we're charging
Just both of them.
a digital plus a linear.
Oh, wow.
because it's a brand safe environment where you know the audience and you know exactly the program that is being broadcasted. So you have the advantage of linear addressable first-party data that is being integrated into a campaign planning.
And you told me that you're able to measure 85% of the households in Spain as a result of HbbTV?
Correct. Yeah.
And do those people have to provide you with consent so that you're able to use that information, or?
So they're two different things. The measurement side in Spain doesn't need GDPR consent. Mm-hmm. The addressability and changing of advertising needs consent.
Okay.
So each broadcaster has in Spain, when they're using HbbTV for advertising addressable, a consent mechanism where the user needs to consent. Yes, do you agree that my data is being used to get targeted advertising?
Okay. And you just said that you're introducing addressable, so you haven't fully started doing it currently, or?
We've been doing this maybe 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Okay, so you are
We
doing
started with the
addressable.
banner ad replacement.
Okay.
And switching spot is the new thing that started last year, and we had improving this with this enrichment of the audience.
Okay, and are you seeing an increase in revenues as a result of doing that right now?
Of course, we cannot share figures, but of
Okay,
course.
I know you can. I know you can. But you also told me something interesting as well in our conversations in advance of this, is that Publicis in Spain had basically moved all of its allocation to digital. They left TV behind.
Correct.
And but now they're back.
It's, I think I alluded to that in the introduction. It's, you know, if an agency has decided they're going to spend their money on digital, then that's their decision.
Right.
And it's fine. I understand why. And now we bring them back to the discussion table. Because, not because linear TV shows a different program or the audience is different. It's the same bloody audience. But the difference is you can now address them, you can target them, and you give the agencies the tools to do something that they're used to do in digital environment. That's all we're doing. But that's a massive change. And that brings money back into linear TV.
And do you see that happening with all of the agencies in Spain at this point in time? I mean, you must be a big marketing effort that you guys are doing.
It's a big marketing effort done by mainly the broadcasters themselves. And the response is fantastic because, you know, we offer an additional value, which the advertisers are really, really keen on, because the advertisers, they love television. They love the quality. They love the brand safe approach. But, you know, if an agency has been, you know, selling them the advantages of digital, now they can come back and sell them the advantages of television and digital targeting together. And
So you're able to show attribution and lift in sales, et cetera?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's then in combination with the audience measurement side, the really attractive thing. So what Thomas mentioned about the 0 rating for smaller channels, now the smaller channels can not only go back to the agency and say, I told you, there are people watching our program, whereas beforehand you say, maybe not, but it's in the panel, you don't have any viewers. Now you have viewers, so you can show them the viewers and you can show them real data. And that's the convincing argument.
And what ads are working the best? What are the engagements that you're finding are the most?
Engagement in regards to?
Well, the engagement, because you're using those L-shaped banners, and I'm just wondering. I mean, there are incentives for people to want to find out what is behind those banners. So, what ads work best, or what advertisers are working best in this format?
Do you have any?
I don't know.
I mean, yesterday we had the example from Omdia where, you know, she was mentioning about the Chanel ad that she really liked.
She was very unhappy with
She was
Chanel.
very unhappy with it because of the break in the ecosystem that, you know, you look at this beautiful ad and you try to buy something, it just doesn't work, which is understandable, which is very frustrating. What we see, and I mentioned that again, the reason why L banners work so well is because you see the text on there, you see a QR code that doesn't stay for 10 seconds, it stands for 30 seconds or 45 seconds there. And you're still watching the TV program, and then you have this L banner, and then suddenly is the switch in of the ad. So you have 45 seconds of L banner plus then the 15 seconds of the spot itself. That's a massive impact, massive impact. And the possibility then to interact, I mean, again, it sounds ridiculous, but you know, they're pressing on the green button, on the yellow button, on the blue button to have an engagement, to say yes or no. It really works, Marianne, it really works. People love to engage, people love to see an ad, a good ad, and you know, UK is a fantastic ad creative country. If creativity for the agencies work in an ad, that results in lift, and you know, the cross-targeting works really well. You know, cross-device targeting works well. So I think the agencies can do a great job if they do a great ad in combination with the formats that work.
So a lot more people can get 15% more.
Much more, yeah, absolutely, or even 20.
I think we have to go. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.